Good morning.
Good
I see
morning.
I see you got a good spring background.
Yeah, girl, I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's like 30
It ain't,
degrees outside.
hello. It ain't spring today, though. That's for
Hey.
sure. It feels more like, look, the middle of January.
Oh my God. Well, it's just for today. Tomorrow to go back up to
See,
normal weather. You have got to be very proud and delighted that you, my dear, carried an act, creating an act creating respectful and open world for natural hair. That you put forth this Crown Act. You and Senator Kushner and members of the Labor and Public Employees Committee of the Connecticut General Assembly. Is that accurate?
yes, yes. And we had several advocates that were on the ground. We had a coalition. Dove actually plays a huge part in this coalition. Our very own homegrown homegirl, Adjoa B. Asamoah,
Yes.
leads the national movement on this. So that was the icing on the cake for us, which really made it really sweet, knowing that we have someone right here from New Haven in DC doing this work nationally. She gets to come home and help me champion and lead this and get it across the finish line. So
Yay. Yay.
yeah,
I believe she's
yeah.
my
The
sorority sister too.
YWCA, the Deltas, the AKAs. I mean, like all my sisters came out, and I mean, last year this time we took over the Capitol.
And so uh, Governor Lamont signed into law the approving the legislation that will prohibit workplace discrimination based on hairstyles that are commonly associated with people of color, such as afros, bantu knots, braids, cornrows, dreadlocks, and twists, known as the Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. Yes, and it was passed by the House by a vote of 139 to 9. That is amazing. So
Yeah, yeah.
I saw that this is moving across the country. I saw it moving across the country because
Hmm.
Black people have been discriminated about their hairstyles, cornrows, afros, and all the things that I just mentioned. And it has been problematic. People have lost their jobs. People have been written up. All these kinds of things for wearing our hair, what we consider in its natural state. And it has become problematic, so much so that states across this country, people have started brokering legislation to so that people can preserve their heritage and culture.
Hmm.
And so, when you decided to take this on, how did it come to you? And when did you know that this was problematic?
The thing that really got me going bad was I watched a video of a young black male wrestler, Andrew Johnson, back in
Mm,
2018. And he was stopped in the middle of the wrestling match and told that he had to cut his locks or he wouldn't be able to complete the match. And as I sat and watched this white woman take scissors, and I'm getting goosebumps in my crown, just reliving, what I
and
saw.
we all watched that, and we all felt pain for that. I know I did, because
Oh,
I
I
would have if
cried.
I
I
would have marched
literally,
down that damn floor, and they would have cut my baby's hair. I just wouldn't have had it.
and see my son, he's had locks down his back. My daughter currently has locks.
I've
I
had
know
locks
the
down my
labor,
back.
and you know the labor that goes into that, right? Like that is work, and it is sacred work. Our crowns are sacred, and to watch that happen to him and to see and feel his pain. I mean, literally, I could see and feel his pain through this video. And I've never forgotten that. So that was really the fire in my belly. We started looking at other states that had gotten it done. 7 states had done it. California being the first state, it had been done it's done New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, Colorado, and Washington. So Connecticut became the first state to do it this year in 2021, but the eighth state to join the coalition. And I just can't even begin to tell you how much it means for men and women, yes, but more so, especially for me, for our babies and being able to give them, just creating liberating spaces for them outside of home where they can show up and be their authentic self and not feel shame or embarrassment. The things that we're made to feel, you know, when we show up looking different because we are different.
And so, how much convincing did you have to do to the rest of your colleagues? Or not convincing, educating? How much educating did you have to do? And did they realize that this was of importance to us, that this was happening, that this really was happening to people?
They did not. I mean, you know, my white colleagues, for the most part, and many of them said it to me. They were like, wow, we never realized that this was an issue, that this was a problem. And a lot of them were surprised. A few of them were nonchalant and had the attitude of, you know, why is this important? Why does this matter? Kind of like smudging it off, like, you know, it's not a big deal. Like, we got other things we could be working on. Why are we working on this? And that's when it gave me great pleasure to actually educate them on the fact that, you know, I know, right? We don't get to show up, you know, authentically. We don't get to wash our hair and run out the door or show up with purple, pink, or orange, or red, or blue hair. And we catch hell for that, right? And being a woman is already puts us in society in a position where we have to, you know, compromise and conform. But for being a woman and Black on top of that, then conformity becomes a means of survival and acceptance. And that's what it's been for us, you know, like just trying to get along and trying to fit in and, you know, trying to be accepted and assimilate. And it's just time to stop.
Because a lot of our,
We don't need to do that.
you know, a lot of our.
Can I just say hi to Robyn?
Yes.
Hi, Robyn. I just want to
Hey,
let you know.
Harry. I met Mrs. Raj the other night.
Yeah.
Harry's such a fan girl.
Well, I just want to tell Robyn how much I appreciate her. She is my favorite representative down there.
Well, I appreciate
and
you
he,
too,
Harry.
Harry.
He says it all the time too. So that's why when I told him this morning you were coming on, he didn't give me no pushback.
All right, let me cut out. Bye, Robyn.
Bye, Harry.
Harry's such a fangirl.
The love is mutual. The love
I got
is
to say
mutual.
I got to say hi to Robyn before she get off. I don't care. so much of our hair, so many of us have been shamed about our hair. In all walks of life, in schools, you know, teachers don't understand this hair. In places of employment, you know, people have said, you know, it's not professional. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, you know, it's untidy, it's unkempt. We don't wash our hair. You know, it's all these kinds of things that we've heard over and over and over again about our hair, which we know not to be true. You know, if anything, it has been white girl hair that has always proven problematic. From where, you know, when they flick that hair and it goes everywhere and restaurants. And so. So when they've always come for us, I'd be like, "Are you kidding me? Our hair doesn't do that.
My hair ain't bothering nobody.
Oh, when you braid it, stays braided. It's not flying all over the like even an afro. It stays in place. It's not going anywhere. You know, oh Lord. So but that has been problematic for self-esteem issues of our young men and women, our young girls and our young boys. It creates a sense of shame about who we are and where we come from and what our hair is. And so did you feel like you had to do a lot of heavy lifting, Robyn, to get people on board for this legislation?
No, not at all. I tell you, and I believe that was the case because of what I like to call outside interference, right? The grassroots movement, the Dove Coalition, the national movement was really helpful in getting this done because it had been done in 7 other states, right? And even during one of our committee meetings, you know, it was said, well, why do we need to do this? And, just because other states are doing it, and, we don't have to be a monkey do, monkey see state. And we were like, what? So yes, there was pushback. There were racial undertones, and it was just, even in the House, the fact that it was 139-9 and not unanimous was really sad to me, because at the end of the day, it is what it is, and this is our truth. This is our lived experience. We've done what we always do, and I compared it to what we did with the police accountability bill. We come before you, we open ourselves up, we share these stories, we re-traumatize ourselves, naked, not ashamed, and then you all look at us and say, So it was disappointing that it wasn't unanimous, but it just goes to show why we needed to put this into law. Because those 9 people that voted against the Crown Act, multiply that by however many you like, and that's what we're dealing with in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I found that to be quite telling. Yeah. I feel you on that.
Absolutely.
I thought that was quite telling that there were some in opposition who weren't willing to make this unanimous. And you guys spent a lot of time on the floor talking about this. Tell me about that experience, because I thought that was pretty powerful.
It was very powerful. And you know me, I just, all of this work I attribute to the ancestors and the work that they've done, the ones that have come before us. And I could literally feel the shoulders of our ancestors in that chamber that day. It literally, it brought me to tears to see and hear the stories of my colleagues and my friends and people that I consider family now, bare their souls and talk about how they were discriminated against, talked about what our kids have been through, and just how unfortunate it is that we had to be standing in the House chamber in 2021 talking about passing a law to prohibit discrimination based on hair, texture, and protective hairstyle.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, I had I think her name is Diana King. She did the she did the sculpture of Mr. Lansing.
Yes.
And she was a telejournalist. She worked in television out there in California, and she was telling me the story when she was on my show about her hair was going gray. Naturally, she said she's been going gray since she was like 15, since she was in high school. Wow. But she colored it because work, right? So one day, one week, she just let it go, and she did her show, and she did a whole show around going gray and what this meant and blah 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 to women and white women, Black women, all kinds of women, and and how we want to stop coloring our hair, and we want to wear our hair in its natural state. All kinds of women, because white women have these problems too when they have naturally curly hair and they're told they need to straighten their hair and color their hair. So anyway, she went to work. She did a whole show around it. It got nominated for awards, and her producers came back. Her boss came back and said, "Okay, so when are you gonna go back to your other hair?" And she's like, "I don't plan on it. Look at all these letters of women saying they feel empowered and inspired that I'm wearing my hair on television every day." And they were like, no, that's not what we want. And so she said she quit her job that day. She said she had no intentions of quitting her job, because you quit your job, you got to have a plan. She said, but she was so that she didn't go in that morning thinking she was gonna have to quit her job, but she's like, you know what, I quit. So she finished out the week and she had quit her job, and she never looked back. But it allowed her to actually pursue her passion of sculpting, which she is quite.
All things happen for a reason, and all things come together, right?
But her point was that she thought that she had some support of her bosses, and she said, I'm 60 years old, and these people still want me to act like I'm not 60 and that my hair isn't gray. Yeah. And then it's naturally curly, and then she was like, and they wanted me to keep straightening it, and she said, I just couldn't. At some point I had to say, no, I'm not coloring it. I'm not straightening it. And so, but that's just one story. And she's a high level media
Yeah.
person that
Highly
had to experience.
recognized.
So
Yeah.
imagine if you're the young kid at Burger King or McDonald's or any little fast food place, and they tell you, "Oh no, you can't wear your braids,
Hmm.
or you can't wear your
And how
Afro
many of us have
puffs."
been told that? You know, like
Oh,
that is
I've been
that.
told it.
Yeah, me too. And that's real talk. That's lived experience. And
Listen, I went to a HBCU. I came out of HBCU, and we were told, you got to straighten that hair. You got to change
mhm,
hair. Like you can't
yeah.
go with that hair like that.
Oh yeah.
And I
My
don't
my
think they were trying to
grandmother
be
was a
insulting.
beautician.
They was just trying to prepare us for the world.
Yes. And it's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, my grandma was a beautician by trade. My mother had three girls. I grew up in a three-generational home. It was my grandmother, my mother, my siblings, and then my grandmother's two youngest children. So it was seven of us. And Saturdays, you had the kitchen duty. Everybody had a turn. You got in that chair. She turned that darn stove on, put that hot comb on, and you got your hair pressed. And you better hold your ear, and you better
Girl.
hold your ear so you don't get burnt. And like my grandmother was one of those women. Like when I talked about going natural, she had a conniption fit. She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh no!" When I talked about chopping all my hair off, she had a conniption fit. She was like, "Oh no, your hair too big. It's shaped like a football." She had all kind of reasons why I shouldn't cut my hair. Um, and when I would wear my afro, she would just, she didn't like it.
Same, Robyn.
Yeah.
Same.
So we were,
Same.
that has been so ingrained in us, like this assimilating and this conforming and, just going along to don't ruffle no feathers, be quiet. You know how we taught speak softly, and all this good stuff. And well, you know me and I know you, and that never worked for us. So here we are, natural and gray. Never
And
worked for
loud.
us. And loud.
Natural, gray, and loud.
And really, the Crown Act started, was kind of an impetus of what happened to her in California, happened in Alabama back in 2013. And it was a racial discrimination lawsuit on behalf of a Black woman who was a job applicant. She was offered a job, I think, as a customer service rep. And she was informed that her locks had violated the company's grooming policy. So when she refused to cut them, the company rescinded the employment offer. And it went to court, and it wasn't upheld. And that's why states are having to do what we're doing around hair discrimination, because hair discrimination doesn't fall under discrimination based on race. And for us, this is historically racial and it's historically ethnic, right? So it is tied to the color of our skin. And I think state representative, now state senator, Pat Billy Miller said it best in her statement on the floor during the debate that, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Ah,
I know that's
getting
aging.
old, getting old, girl. But she said something in her. Oh yes, she said, when you tell me that my hair is not good enough, what you're saying is my skin is not good enough because my hair looks like this because of the color of my skin, right? This is attached to me genetically, culturally, ethnically. This is who I am. So I was like, wow, I never really heard anyone put it like that. So, it is rooted and grounded in this structural racist system that we've been dealt a hand in. Right?
I mean, and I think you made a good point about it is ingrained in us that
Mhm.
we ourselves are willing to do the shaming that others
Yeah,
heap on us. Like we don't need white people to tell us, we tell ourselves. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like we don't need them to tell
absolutely.
us that we don't think we're beautiful, our hair is beautiful. We do it ourselves.
That's right.
We do it.
When I got elected, like I was told by several people, and one of them was a sister. Oh, you're gonna have to settle on a hairstyle because people not gonna know you when you show up. You keep changing your hair, and one minute you got braids, next minute it's straight. I go to my Dominican girl, and get it blown out, or get it pressed and curl, or I just wash it and let it dry, and it curls up. And she's like, no, you got yeah, and I'm like, well, I don't think so. But I mean, even in the work that I did, as recent as 2014, when I first started, I was told the same thing about my hair. My daughter went through it when she went to school in Wallingford, elementary and middle school. New Haven public schools ain't the best, so I sent her out there to get a good foundation, brought her back for high school for a more diversified education. But of course, while she was out there, she wanted to perm her hair. And, I was the mom that would pick the afro out and give her the talk in the morning about what this represents and to be proud and how it was a part of our culture. And she's like, look, I want my hair like everybody else hair. Don't be sending me to school with no afros and afro puffs and cornrows and beads, because that's how she was going. And people would take the liberty of just wanting to put their hands in her hair and touch it and feel it like, like it's the petting zoo or something. And I'm like, no, don't allow people to violate your space like that and to violate your crown. I mean, to me, putting your hands in my hair is like walking up to a pregnant woman and putting your hands on her belly and you don't even know.
You're right. Robyn, you're so right. My youngest daughter, Margot, we put locks in her hair. We started locking her hair when she was a baby. So she's only ever known locks.
Wow.
Now she's 19. She's 19 years old. So she's never known any other hairstyle but locks. I mean, we started locking her hair. We had the daycare that she went to, one of the workers there asked if she could start locking her hair when she was a baby. And I was like, sure. Because I just thought it was beautiful because I had locks at the time. And I was like, fine. And so she's only ever known locks.
Wow.
Her whole life. And she still wears them. And they're gone her back.
Yeah.
So I mean,
didn't realize she had them from a baby though. Wow.
Yep, from a baby. So she's never had any other hairstyle. And every now and again, she feels like, I haven't heard it in a while. She's like, oh, I should cut my hair or whatever. But now I haven't heard it in a very long time. So she's just, wearing them and proud of them. But yeah, I remember people used to say, how dare I do that to her? Like, how do I make that kind of decision for her? Like, this is not a decision she's making on her own, that I'm forcing this on her,
wow.
that kind of thing. I was like, well, she's my child. And no matter what style I do, it's the style that I do. And I'm the mother. I get to say what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the mother. She doesn't get to decide her hair as a child. I do that.
Exactly.
People are like, well, it's so permanent.
Otherwise, when she grows up, then it's her choice. But
like, oh, it's so permanent. I was like, and what? What's the problem? So what?
And it really isn't permanent because you can always start over, right?
Start over. So, but I remember so many people were so annoyed by that. Literally. And it was a lot of us who were really annoyed at it, Oh, you're just setting her up for problems and all this other kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, we're taught to assimilate. We're taught to stay in our place. We're taught to do whatever it takes to get what it is, we need to get. And for most of us, that's just a job, right? We're just trying to work and pay our bills. And these are the kind of things they put on you. And it's traumatizing, when I think about what the kids go through and some of the videos I've seen where these teachers have cut the braids off our babies.
Oh, I've seen these. You've seen them on YouTube. You see people posting stuff on Facebook. These kids go home and they get home and the parents are like, what the hell happened to your hair? Oh, Miss So-and-so cut my hair. Or Miss So-and-so did my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what?
Yes. So, I mean, our children are subjected to things that, no one else's children are susceptible to.
Assault. I find that to be an assault.
It is an assault. And that's what I said when I watched Andrew Johnson, the young man. He was 16 at the time. I said that was an all-out assault on that young man.
Because it had nothing to do with his hair. Had nothing to do with wrestling.
And he had been wrestling for a while. Like, it had never interfered before. So what was the problem now?
Those white folks could not stand it.
Mm-mm. And he was winning. So, I mean, I think a lot of times these kind of things come up and they happen as a way to take the sale out of our win, the win out of our sales, and to kind of put us back in our place and remind us, these are part of those tactics. So it just feels real good to know that Connecticut has actually stepped up and, joined in a movement that really matters because we matter. Our women, our men, our children matter. And that's why, myself and Senator Kushner and the Labor Committee, my colleagues, the majority of them, all them, I don't think it was any them that voted against it. So I will say my party, and just everybody, the community, the way the community showed up for this was just
it makes, what it does. I tell you, Robyn, a generation of kids will come through knowing that somebody fought for this for them. That this takes it off the table. My friend Ife, Ife just texted me, her daughter Raven when she was 9. Now her father is Jamaican, and his wife cut Raven's hair when she was 9. When Ife sent her over there to visit them in Jamaica, this woman took it upon herself to cut the baby's hair. and she better be glad Ife didn't swim.
Or fly.
She better be glad that Ife didn't grow wings and fly to Jamaica and kill this woman.
Girl. Oh.
And she says that, Raven is still very traumatized by that, right? Because when you do that, Robyn, that's you what you're telling somebody is you're not beautiful, or you're beautiful except for this piece of you.
That's right.
Like, oh, you would be perfect if you were different. And that's not the we want to send our young sisters and brothers.
No. And I mean, the other thing is the message says that, that the way we wear our hair got something to do with the way we do our job or the way we learn. And we know that the way we choose to wear our hair has no bearing on our abilities to perform professionally, academically, or otherwise. Like, it's insane. But historically, this is what we've had to deal with, like this has always been the case.
I mean, Robyn, that when women were Black women during times of slavery had to tie their head up because it was unacceptable for them to be seen in their natural hair.
Yeah, that's right.
And when I learned that, because I was like, and then what did we do? We got creative with the way that we wrapped them scarves on our head.
We got fly with it, girl.
That's right. They're like, well, if they're gonna make us wear these damn rags on our head, we gonna rock it. And so what happened? We rock it. But yeah, so they wanted us to hide our beauty in all manner. Cover your head, cover your head, cover your hair. And so that translates into you're not worth, or you're not beautiful, you're
not good enough.
You're not
good enough. And what are we taught? Right? We're taught that we got to be twice as good and we got to work twice as hard. And I said that when I was closing the debate on the floor. I said, these are the things we're taught. But today I'm here to tell our babies, our precious babies, that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet, however they choose to show up. They are whole. They're good enough. I was told that, I've been guilty of telling my kids that, right? But today I say we change the narrative.
I think you're right,
we are born good enough, that we don't have to be
enough.
Twice as good. We don't have to work twice as hard, because when we show up, we always show up doing our best.
Yes.
I can remember my grandmother saying, I don't care if you washing windows, cleaning toilets, stove, whatever you do, mopping floors, let them be the cleanest floors, the cleanest toilets, the cleanest windows. You always do your best. Whatever you decide to do, if you take on that responsibility and you call that a job that you're going to do, you always do your best. And that's all we have to tell our kids. Just be your best you.
Yes.
That's it. You ain't got to be better than nobody. I'm not in competition with nobody, Babz. The only person I'm in competition with is me. And I'm just trying to be a better me today than I was yesterday.
Yes.
These are the things that we need to instill in our babies and stop setting them. I think it was what you said earlier, though. Like, they really felt like they were helping to equip us to deal with the world. And they were, in a sense, right? Were. But I think that we have to flip those tables now. Yeah. And we have to take our rightful places. And we have to own our royalty. Yes. We are a royal priesthood.
That we are enough, Robyn.
We are
enough. That we are enough. And we are
good enough, just the way we come here.
We are good enough. That we don't have to do extra. There's no extra to be done. we no longer have to work twice as hard and show up and be bet. No.
That's
Just
right.
show up as you are. You're, what do you say? Beautifully and beautifully
Fearfully
made.
and wonderfully made.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's enough. That's enough. And I'm a Black mother, and I've been guilty of saying you got to be better and
Mm-hmm.
faster, but no
Yeah.
longer. So should grandchildren show up in my life, they will never get that from their grandmother's lips,
And
to be twice as better and all
that's
that. Like,
right.
nope. Just
That's
show up and
right.
do your best.
That's right. You are kind. What's the saying she told the little baby? You are kind, you are smart, you are, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, from the little movie, which I've never seen, by the way. The Help
Oh my gosh.
from The Help. I've never seen it, but I know,
That was
I know the quote. I know the quote you're talking about.
yeah.
So yeah,
And that's what we should be telling our babies, you know?
yes,
You are
yeah.
enough.
Well, I appreciate you championing this legislation. I think for generations to come can rest easy, knowing that somebody looked out for them in 2020, so that we can, 2021, got this
Yeah.
legislation passed so that you can be your authentic self, in whatever way that is, and however way you show up, so you can do the
Amen.
job.
Amen. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to God that He has seen me to be a vessel fit for His use. And, you know, I used to call it kingdom work, but I'm calling it queendom work now because this is the queendom. Welcome to the queendom because women are leading and we're taking back our rightful places because, you know, historically, we come from a matriarchal society.
Yeah.
And I think the rebirth of that is what people are witnessing in this reconstruction that's going on. And it's
Okay,
going to
Harry,
be Black
call letters.
women leading.
Harry's gonna do the
Hi,
FC.
this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
Robyn Porter, I'm so glad you could jump on this morning for these few minutes, because I
Me
know you
too.
are a busy child. I know you
Me
get
too.
pulled in
But you know,
50
when Bab
million.
calls, some people just know how to make you pump your brakes. And I
Well,
appreciate the
I
platform,
did
my
not want
sister.
to I did not want to go out on medical leave knowing that you had championed this beautiful piece of legislation and not celebrate it, not have you on to celebrate you and this work. I just couldn't go out like that. And I told Paul Bass, I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna try to get her on. I know she's busy. I'm gonna try to get her on. So thank you so
Well, I
much.
love and appreciate you, and you are in my thoughts and prayers, and I am here as you go through. You know, you got a sister or two or three or four or 1,000 waiting to assist and help you in any way we can. So just know that we love you and we appreciate you and the work that you do in community for
Thank you.
beloved community. So thank you, Queen Babz.
Well, thank you, Queen of all queens. My crown. Let me straighten my
I
crown.
know that's right. See, I'm
Thank
letting
you,
it grow,
Robyn Porter.
girl. I'm like, let me see. I think I might have to lock my hair. The only thing I haven't done, right?
Oh,
So
see, I've done it. I'm not going back to locking my hair because that's a process. But
I
I tell you what,
know.
I would like to crochet some faux locks in. I might do that for a minute. I might do
I
that. If
know
I can
that's
grow my
right.
hair, if I can stay at the barbershop and grow it out a little bit, I
That's
might
what I'm
consider it.
struggling with, Babz. I'm like,
Hot
I'm trying to
girl.
let it grow, but I'm like, "Ugh." I like
Oh,
that smooth feel.
I know. I'm
I'm
trying to.
having to work now with this stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm not used to this. I'm used to getting up and gone.
I know, girl.
Mm.
Listen. I'm trying to stay out that barber. Trying.
Well,
So
let's put together.
so
Let's
far,
put together.
yes. All right. Enjoy your day, my love.
I
Thank you so much,
will. You as well.
Representative
Bye,
Robyn Porter.
Harry. All right.
Thank
Tell
you,
the missus
Robyn.
I said hello. He
We
had me
will.
cutting up Babz in a public hearing. His wife said, "Oh, my husband Harry said to tell you hello." I was like, "What?" Because they spelled the name wrong. That's why I didn't know who she was. I was like, they didn't get that right. They had a DORZ like doors. I was like, no, that's Draws. You got the R in the wrong place. All right, my loves. Y'all have a beautiful day and
You
stay
too.
warm. It's
Yeah.
cold out.
Oh, girl.
Take care.
Cashmere.
I see you. All right. Bye,
All right, my
guys.
love. Thank you.
You're welcome.